Okay. So, in my ranking video, I was kind of slandering JYPE at every moment I could get. That's why I'm here, to continue slandering them and explain my slanders. I am not hating on any of these groups or idols, just the company and the way they're, in my opinion, stagnating completely. Let's get the basics over with. JYPE is one of the big three companies in Korea when it comes to producing K-pop and K-pop groups. Very famous groups such as Wonder Girls, 2PM, and Miss A are arguably what helped the company to majorly take off and paved the way for future acts in K-pop and JYPE. However, I won't be talking about all of JYPE's groups mainly since my gripe with JYPE has arisen within, like, the past year-ish. Therefore, the groups I'm going to be touching on or talking about will be Day6, Stray Kids, GOT7, Twice, ITZY, NiziU, Xdinary Heroes and NMIXX. Let's start off by addressing what my problem with JYPE is, their recent music, the way they market or promote their groups, and the company's lack of creativity, because nothing is going right, let me tell you that. In terms of the way JYPE promotes their groups, there's not really much to say, because I don't really ever see any promotion material, specifically for their less famous groups. Everyone has heard about GOT7 and probably knows what went wrong there. Which was essentially just JYPE refusing to invest money into helping them gain a larger fanbase. Why? Because the GOT7 boys weren't bringing in money. So they didn't deserve to have money funneled into them. Plus, JYPE kind of famously hates boy groups. Fans of the group were literally promoting them better than the company. Which is just a sight that everyone wanted to see. Day6 also had terrible promotions from JYPE, the company never reposting outside activities the members would do, and, overall, just ignoring them. Why? Because the Day6 boys weren't bringing in money, so they didn't deserve to have money funneled into them. Some may argue that they aren't popular because they're a band and, while such a statement may hold some merit, it doesn't mean that Day6 had no chance whatsoever to make it big. Most of the blame will always fall on the company for things like this. And, finally, Xdinary Heroes. Now, even though I'm into K-pop, that doesn't mean that I'm on Twitter or constantly getting recommended content about up-and-coming groups. However, this is JYPE, one of the largest companies there are. And I should be getting at least the smallest inkling that a new group is debuting. No, I mean, I got recommended NMIXX content 2 months before their debut. I knew SM were debuting aespa quite a while before that as well, and YG pushed Treasure quite a fair bit before their debut. There's no excuse for the first time finding out about Xdinary Heroes to be from my friend, on the day of their debut. It's an absolutely awful case of promotion. And I can already feel them getting pushed on the back burner to make space for the more popular groups in the future. Speaking of, this is the next section. JYPE's declining musical quality as of recent. Now, I don't know if maybe I'm delusional and it's only me that thinks this way, but JYPE's recent music is barely listenable at this point. The elephant in the room is NMIXX, with the worst debut song in the existence of debut songs. The only reason I don't hate OO at the moment is because I've heard it about 200 times, unwillingly of course, and I've grown Stockholm Syndrome towards the song. Tank, however, I've heard maybe thrice and it's made my ears bleed all 3 times. With OO, JYPE was clearly trying to copy aespa's Next Level, which was the worst possible choice they could have gone for. Tank was created to go TikTok viral, so that's all that really needs to get said about that one. Say what you want about Blackpink, or Stray Kids, or ITZY, or whoever. But their music will never be objectively worse than NMIXX's current discography. NiziU is going to have a short paragraph, but they're still getting a mention. Basically, their music started off fine in my opinion, but Asobo is really making me question whether these producers have ears. Although, I think NiziU still have a fighting chance given that they're not managed solely by JYPE and their prior music hasn't been awful. My biggest case study for the declining quality of music though, is ITZY. People may argue against me here, but make your own video if you want to defend your #girlbossqueens. So, in short, I loved Dalla Dalla, I loved Icy, I loved Wannabe, I warmed up to Not Shy but it aged quickly. I listened to Mafia in the morning because I like the dance and the concept of the song, and I tried so desperately to like Loco but it's very boring. It's like JYPE didn't know what to do after people began complaining about the love yourself concept, so they did anything they could think of. ITZY's B-sides were never anything to write home about in my opinion. But their first full album didn't have a single song on it that I listened to enough to learn its lyrics, aside from Loco, but we've established how I wanted to like it so badly but I just couldn't. And their first Japanese song Voltage. What's up with the mixing there? People say that Japanese music is mixed differently from Korean music, which it is. I listen to a large handful of Japanese music to know, but it's not mixed badly. This, Voltage, it's just mixed badly. Seriously, I want ITZY to keep succeeding, but I truly can't see them reaching as high highs as they already have in the future, and it hurts me to say that. TWICE are a group known for their cute image and their recent shift to maturity, but not even JYPE's most successful group is free from this horrible phenomenon. Now, I will preface that TWICE's music has never been the best of the best for me, and yes, I've listened to their full discography, so I've heard whatever song you're thinking about, but they had at least consistently good title tracks. Well, that was until Feel Special hit, because that was their last stellar title track and last stellar collection of B-sides. More and More was bland and unfinished sounding. I Can't Stop Me took more listens than I would have liked to enjoy it. Alcohol Free was too soft and uneventful, and Scientist somehow took Alcohol Free and made it worse. For some reason though, whenever the TWICE girls are allowed to contribute to their music, it turns out better. Is this a coincidence? Possibly, but it's always a coincidence until a certain point. And finally, my babes, the Lost Children. If I sit here and slander my faves, I'd be slandering their producing skills and not JYPE's, since Stray Kids are essentially entirely self-produced. Stray Kids are the group on here that I listen to the most often, partially because they're my alts, but I can also understand that they have some absolute stinkers in their discography. That being said, I can't even berate the lads for anything because they literally contribute to everything they do majorly, and it's essentially Stray Kids that manage Stray Kids. They write, compose, arrange, and contribute to choreography. I even think I heard somewhere that they translate captions on their YouTube videos, but don't quote me on that. The point is that Stray Kids do everything and JYPE does nothing. So, in a way, that's also me slandering JYPE. Good going, JYPE, all you do is manage them or something. And, even still, you haven't figured out that Europe is a very real place that exists so that I can go and see them live on tour. Insanity. So now that I'm done slandering JYPE's music producers, I just need to mention what JYPE's main issue is. Also, basically everything I say is with the exception of Stray Kids, as they're self-produced. Surprisingly, their main problem isn't music, which may come as a shock. This company's issue is that they have no direction right now. All of their music is beginning to blend in with one another. And all of their groups lack a clear direction in my opinion. Now that ITZY aren't loving themselves, what's their group identity? Now that Day 6 are reduced to 4. 3 of which are in the military, what's left for them right now? Now that TWICE are expected to be mature while also cute, how are they meant to uphold that image? NMIXX and Xdinary Heroes are only on 3 songs between them, so it's still early days, but I can't fathom what crazy thing JYPE is going to have NMIXX do. And I personally think they'll just have the Xdinary boys eat dust. Each company has a gimmick of sorts. SM are experimental, YG are loud, Cube are great at mismanaging. HYBE are kind of setting the trends right now. Starship have high quality music, woolim experiment within the pop genre, etc., etc. What do JYPE have? They're a mismatch of random things and are hoping to make it through. They used to pioneer trends and really set an example for how things were supposed to go. Then other companies would jump onto JYPE's trends and capitalize off of that. Now it's the other way around, and JYPE seems to have no creative bones left at all. Of course, it's still a big 3 company, and the artists are still going to do well, with a potential exception of Xdinary Heroes. But I really hope against that, yet JYPE seems like they're hopping onto all of the wrong trends and they're hopping onto them too late. I'd give them advice, but what would I know? I'm just a girl sitting in her bedroom and enjoying music, or, in this case, getting disappointed by low-quality songs that could have been so much better. Bye bye, my fellow brethren.